Going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy BT, and we are back again with this Nissan Titan. Now, I've always heard stories of people who have had their cars at shops, and you're like, how could this story even be true? Well, we've got a story here too. It's not overly complex. It's just that the truck was sitting at a shop for 2 years, and I waited and waited. And what did you hear? You heard a story after story after story, when at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. If you don't want to work on it, just say that. Or if it's really not that important, just let me come back and grab it and be on my way. So 2 years later, I finally have this thing back in possession. Now, before we get into what we're actually going to get done, it's slightly more disassembled than it left because the bed actually had been taken off to kind of see the issue we had here with the frame. But I want to go back and address something that has been the challenge of ownership with this vehicle. And I think I might have come across exactly what has caused the issue. So we're going to get into that right now. So here we are. We've reached the point where we now have possession back of the truck, and the last place that I left off was saying that the ECU needed to be replaced because there was potentially a short that went through the wiring system up into the ECU and messed some stuff up, and that's why we're getting this inconsistent stagnation. Now, I want to talk through something that I noticed and found out that might have actually caused the issue. Now, let's get straight to it. When you post a video, people come for you in the comments. And in the comments, people came for me. They told me that, oh, you're having issues because this is a wrecked vehicle. Listen, I'm sharing information, right? I'm trying to help other Titan owners out there address the situation. So when I say this problem did not exist because of an accident, you gotta believe me and hear that this problem did not exist because of an accident. But what I've been able to do is create a lot of tutorials to help people troubleshoot various issues so that they can keep their Titans running on the road. As you know, this model is no longer being produced in this fashion. So I'm going to do the best to give you guys tutorials so you can keep your trucks on the road. I bought this truck for a reason. I still have this truck. So yes, I had a little bit of frustration with trying to understand like why this problem even came up, but I'm going to show you what I found, and I think this is potentially what caused my issue. So before I share what I potentially have discovered here, when you're working on vehicles as a DIY, you need access to some of the content and the material that, you know, these dealerships and manufacturers have. And what I have found, you guys got to check this out. So if you've got a project you're working on, you got to check out emanualonline.com. All right, so before we get into what I have potentially discovered, you know, when you're working on a vehicle like this as a DIY, you don't necessarily have access to all of the content that manufacturers have in some of these shops. And so one thing that I've discovered that you're going to need a manual. And so you've got to check out emanualonline.com. As you can see here, you just put in your year, your make, your model, you go ahead and you grab the manual for what you're working on. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the troubleshooting of what is connecting to what and what travels where without a manual as such. As I'm working on this Nissan Titan, that manual has been a lifesaver in order to troubleshoot and map and just like try to figure out exactly what's going on. So you guys gotta hop over to Emanual Online right now. We're gonna get you a 22% off code. If you plug in this code right here, BT Bill Things 22, you're gonna go ahead and you'll be able to save 22% site-wide on emanualonline.com. Just, hey, check this out. Look at all this information right here that we have on this Nissan Titan. This really helps out tremendously to not waste time in the process of troubleshooting. So Emanual Online, thank you for, you know, looking out for us DIYers out there. We appreciate what you guys do, and hopefully a lot of you guys watching this video will be able to hop onto that site and get what you need to get your project going. Okay, so we are on the passenger side of the vehicle, and I want to show you what I found here. So this is the harness that's in this region right here. Now, one of these is supposed to be plugging into the harness for the tail light here. But what I want to show you here is on the same harness. I've never seen this ever before. Never seen this. So on this harness, if you look carefully here, these two connectors are identical. I've never seen this where you could literally accidentally take this and plug it into here. This is it's quite interesting, by the way. So what I've done is I've actually, if you can see that white mark there, I've actually marked on the harness the white here so that you know, please plug this in here. Now, I believe what happened when I got the tail light for the right side, I believe this must have accidentally got plugged into here because I remember seeing like some interesting flashing happening on the tail lights that was obviously not normal. So when I checked and plugged it out, plugged everything back in, that is when I started having the issue. So let's say, for instance, your truck was on the line coming off the assembly line and somehow this mistakenly got plugged into the wrong spot because these are both the same style connectors, and for whatever reason the truck was turned on, a short goes down the line, messes with the system, they get everything sorted out. This explains why, you know, there could be some sort of shortage issue that's occurring, shortage issue that had occurred in the past that now is you know, some Titan owners are experiencing this intermittent issue. I can't really explain how this could potentially happen, but if someone's working on your car at the shop, or again, if it was on the assembly line, again, look at this. These two are identical connectors. I've never seen that. Every connector is usually different size. There's no way to mess it up. So that's what I wanted to share. I think it's very interesting that this is the phenomenon. And so for all of you, again, thinking that this issue is because the car was in an accident, 100% incorrect information there. So I'm just sharing this with you. So again, what I've done is I've marked mine on both sides so that it's just understood that, you know, when you're working on this thing, please put these back, match them up, because so what we're going to do is we're going to get this taken to the shop. They're going to work on it. They're going to put it back together. I'm not touching that ECU until the work is done, just to ensure that there is no mistake that occurs where this is plugged into the wrong spot. So that's what I wanted to share, my findings on this. It took a long time to kind of reach this resolution as to what I think may have potentially caused the problem. But we're going to get this thing remedied. We're going to get it fixed. And in the process, you'll have different tutorials to help you manage through the maintenance and, you know, longevity of your truck. All right, so that's it for this video. As you can see, I'm gonna have to start getting things prepped. I've got my parts ready to go. We're getting this thing dropped off. We're gonna get this thing right. I'm gonna have to, you know, do a little bit of work. I'm gonna try to split up the work. So I'm gonna take some of the work. I'm gonna do it myself. The rest, I'm gonna give it to the pros to handle the business. And so we're gonna get this truck right. We're gonna get this truck running, and it'll be back on the road before you know it. It's your boy BT. Thank you for checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.